The topic this morning is an important one. A new way of being. And I'm sure we all feel it. I mean, there's so much what we can look at with our physical eyes or hear with our physical ears about the separation, the pain, the problems in the world. But inside all of us, I know we feel there's a new awakening, a new understanding, something deeper that wants to be born. And what I know, because I feel it so much, is that connection and understanding and acceptance. We need to appreciate it. It feels like we're so far away sometimes, doesn't it? Like we're just so far apart. But if you think of the changes that are happening in the world, and you really take a step back to see a bigger perspective, this is Pride Month. All 50 states have legalized same-sex marriage. I mean, we got to give ourselves a hand for that. This is big movement. And if we look at the television shows, the TV shows, we can see diversity. We can see a new way of living that better reflects the world as it is. So we feel that, we can see it. Instead of focusing on the differences, we need to decide right here and right now where we need in consciousness to be moving on from those old belief systems that keep us stuck in the old paradigms that just don't work anymore. We need to keep moving, we need to keep growing, and it's calling to all of us. I know it, because we've been in a time when we've been very sensitized to things. You know, if we take a step back and look at, scientists love to explore the unexplainable, to try to see how, well, why is it that life keeps expanding on itself? Things keep evolving and growing. But as theologians, metaphysicians, mystics don't care about the how. What we want is a deeper relationship to that thing that's greater than we are. The scientists recognize it. They know there's an organized intelligence in the world, right? They know it. And many of them think that it's greater, something greater than we are. I mean, we sort of have to know that. But we just want that experience. So if we get into a new way of being, what is being? Well, the beingness of life is the one. Spirit, God, it's just the one, because that's all there is, the creator of everything, all life. That is what being is. And if we are beings, then we are little aspects, and as you were saying, it was so beautiful, Dave, little chunks of all this possibility inside of us, the potentiality. We are the nature of God, a little individualized packet of potentiality that we get to decide how much we're going to use. We're each designed to be fully alive, but something has happened to us that we forget that we are the nature of God in us, but we have free will, so we have the knob that can turn us up or turn us down, because the only way Spirit can work is through us. And if we don't really believe in ourselves, you know, we can believe in God, but it's such a poor substitute for really experiencing what that essence and energy is, what that life force, that creative potential, that intelligence is inside of us. We need to do the work. Somewhere along the way, we became disconnected from understanding who we really are. There's a part of us that knows it and remembers, but somewhere we moved on from that. We moved on from understanding who we are. It's Meister Eckhart who said, we need to spend way less time thinking about what we should be doing, and spend way more time in remembering who we are. And we've gotten away from that. We got broken in that, and we got disconnected, and we became very dualistic in our thinking and judgmental. And part of the reason for that, I think, this is probably the hardest part, is if we want to be whole human beings, the wholeness of our nature, we need to not only like the light and the goodness and the peace and the possibility and the joy, we have to be willing to do the work to face the darkness and the shadow that this life brings to us, because it's hard and it's difficult, and we make mistakes and we buy into things, and And like that, the song, we're moving on, and we'll find forgiveness, and when we do, we'll be at peace. But we have to accept all of ourselves. It's my little buddy Rumi who said, it's the wound that we have where the light comes through. That's where the healing happens. And if we're not willing to look at the wounds in our life, if we're not willing to look at the places that hurt, or the mistakes we've made, or the people we've hurt, or when we've been hurt, if we're not willing to look at any of that, we're covering up the healing process. We're blocking that so we can be whole human beings. It was interesting. Ernest Holmes, he loved the parables of Jesus, but he had a parable in his Science of Mind, or one of his books. It's the parable of the angel. And think about the little angels, little beings of light, little messengers of light. And this little angel looks down on the earth and goes, oh, wouldn't it be fun to go participate? Not be a messenger like they are, but to participate in that thing called life. So this little angel goes down to earth and gets involved in the activities. I don't think she was at the party last night. She might have been, but gets involved in the activities and hears human conversations. And all of a sudden, she's hearing something she doesn't recognize, and it's the negative comments about life. Oh, there's this war, and all of humankind could be extinct. And oh my God, there's this epidemic. It's an illness that could wipe everybody out. And the financial hardships that are in the world are going to limit everybody. But what it was, it's really saying there's not enough good to go around. It's lacking faith in something greater. It's the lack of knowing that everything has a purpose. And she got consumed by it because it can be very seductive to hear all these things and go, oh. And so what happened, she looked in the mirror and there she saw a human. But the human that was her reflecting back was filled with doubt, disillusionment, anxiety. And she started to shrivel. I think we've all been there, where you forget and you start to shrivel. And actually, she lost the will to live because she forgot where she came from and thought, this is too heavy, too much for me. But as in all of us, there was a place in her that remembered, oh, I am an angel of God. I know the light. And she looked and she saw the light and she said, I need to follow the light. And the courage rose up in her, the determination, and she returned to the understanding that we are all light. That's the stuff we're made of. We're not a soul in a body. We're a soul, a light that has the privilege of learning and being housed in this body for a short period of time. And she remembered that. And she said, oh, I've been asleep. It was all a dream, a very bad dream. And that's where we're waking up to something more. We have to be doing what we need to do to find that courage and determination to keep on keeping on, to keep on going and remembering who we really are and all that is inside us right now. I can't find these things sometimes. The starting point of this journey, and it was for the little angel too, is inside of us. We can't look out there for only the things we find in here, and divinity is packaged right inside of us. It's inside of us along with a whole bunch of love. And if you and I are going to start seeing with different eyes and having different experiences, we got to go inside. It's solitude and silence. Eckhart Tolle said, we cannot find the power of life. Impossible if we're not in the present moment. And we know the power of life is spirit. We can't find it if we're not willing. Go into that energy, into the time, which is pure spirit. And we're going to run into the darkness, but we got to do our work to make sense of these experiences we've had, to bring a greater understanding so we can finally be fueled by that thing we call life, we call love. Let me tell you, when we go to that place inside, I guarantee there's a voice that's talking to us. It's not with words we can hear, not with words we can hear. It's with what we sense. And it's God saying, I am here. I am truth. I am light. I am love. I am wisdom. I am joy. I am possibility. Accept me. How are you doing? How are we doing on that? It's always there, and if we're not finding that, we need to take the time to reconnect, because life is hard. No one said it was going to be easy. Hildegard of Bingen, one of my favorite mystics from the 12th century, Christian mystic, she's amazing, creative, unbelievable woman. She said, we are all born from original wisdom. When we're little tiny babies in our mother's womb, wisdom is folded like a tent into the center of our being. And our whole life is about setting up that tent. It's about finding the wisdom that life is always trying to offer us. And when I read that, it made me laugh really hard, because when we first were going to have our outdoor service, if you were one of the guys that was out there, we had 5 very intelligent, very strong, capable men trying to set up a little tiny tent. It was, well, from the outside, it was hysterical. I didn't go outside and laugh, but they're really all the wisdom in the world. Now, I don't know how many times they finally did get that tent up. I don't know how many times they kept trying to set that tent up, but you know what? Then a greater wisdom came to them, and they bought a simpler tent, which was the best idea. But that's, you know, that's for us. We get to figure out, we have this, I saw the tent opening like a tent of awareness. Awareness. You get wisdom, understanding. It gets bigger and bigger. And our whole life's journey is about setting up that tent and seeing, okay, can it collapse sometimes? Absolutely. Because we need spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings in this body to live and learn, but we have to keep our spiritual experience awake and alive and keep doing what it takes to keep that tent open and available, so when it's going down, we can pump it back up with the truths that we know. A really wonderful way to check how you're doing, if you're not really in tune right now. You know, most the traditions in the world use the I am, all caps, I am, saying divinity, things working in divinity, I am. It was Moses that said, when he was working the Israelites, he was working with the Israelites, he asked God, but what if they, the Israelites, ask me what God's name is? What do I do? What am I to tell them? And God said to Moses, I am who I am. I am sent me to you. I am. So when you say I am, when you wake up in the morning, you know, what do you say? Oh, I'm terrific. I'm wonderful. I'm a gift to the world. Do you wake up and say that? Right. Okay, well, we have that power because the word is power in action. It activates the power. So if we can just start practicing waking up and throughout our day saying, oh, you know, I'm pretty amazing, you know. It may sound like we're just puffing ourselves up, but if we really know who we are, we're just being the truth of our being. I'm not any more amazing than anybody else. We don't need to say, I'm more amazing than you, I'm better than you. No, just I'm the best me I can be right now, that's it. Nothing else. I'm just the best in this moment. And I'm gonna get better, because I've got a lot still to learn. My tent's not all the way up yet. I haven't done all my work yet in this world. We need to be doing that and asking, are we really giving the message that we're here to give? So the message we want to send the world, whatever it is in the moment, I am whatever that is. I am, if we want to be peaceful for this day, I am peace today. I am light. And if we truly, and Dave, from your reading, which was so beautiful, if we want to be that light in the world, we better bring exactly what you said. We can tell if we're being light in the world, because whenever there's a place, a situation of darkness, whenever we hear the news, which is really a delivery of pain in the world. We've established that earlier. That's the way we find out what's wrong with the world. If we're delivering the light, then we bring kindness and peace and compassion and love to whatever situation it is. When something is really dark, we can see the good and the beautiful because we know better. We have the inner wisdom that can guide us to something greater. So today, I'm really going to invite us to be really self-aware of where do we need to break away from the things that are keeping us out of alignment with that beautiful stream of light that's ever wanting to express through us. Because everything we create, everything we do out there in the world is simply spirit, creative energy working through us. We're the open channel for that. So we need to be aware, where is it that I need to stand taller, be more self-accepting, where I need to accept the light in, through, and as me, because that's the way spirit works. That's the way I am. Where do I need to do that? That we can truly, truly break away from all the things that no longer serve. Remember, I'm going to read this little quote one more time. When it says, "My hope still is to leave the world a little better than I found it when I got here." And think of the Muppets. It can't help but make you smile and make you laugh. It's what we're here to do. So I'm going to invite you right now to put your feet on the floor. And in that same quote, God said to Moses, "Take the sandals off your feet, because the ground you are standing on is holy ground." We don't need to take our shoes off, but I want you to feel, just feel the foundation of this earth. Just feel yourself supported. Imagine that the beautiful arms and spirit and love of God is just there around us in this beautiful thing we call soul. Our divine light is connected to all the other light. We are never, ever alone. And just feel the connection as this light that we are moves out and touches all the other light in this world, because we are on this journey of awakening together right here. And as we close our eyes and tap into that place within us where spirit lives, where love lives, as we fuel it with our understanding, or we fuel it with our acceptance, our attention, our knowing, let that light within just grow right here and right now. And the truth I know for each and every one of us is the power and light of spirit is activated within us right now. And I know, I see, I feel that fire of spirit is just glowing, burning away all of the old concepts and ideas and beliefs that no longer work to keep us in alignment with all that is good and right and true. And I see for each one of us that we walk through this world feeling what a blessing it is to be alive, that we have everything we need right here and right now. And we take the time in solitude and silence to connect when we forget, that it's always there for us, that we can be plugged in and able to be all that God meant us to be. And that is the best version of ourselves right here and right now. We are, as all of us, a work in progress. And we are growing and becoming and headed towards that light with the angels around us guiding our path and showing the way. As I know that for all of us, I truly know that each one of us has the courage to keep on the path, to keep on keeping on, and the determination to set our sights and our focus on good. And we have right here all the support, all the love we need. In that simple knowing and understanding, just release any ideas that you have right now of the truth of your being into the atmosphere of goodness that we all may share, because we each have a unique and special place to play in this thing called life. How good it is for all of us to be here. Take a nice deep breath. And we'll release these words in this infinite knowing by saying together, "And so it is. Amen." Thank you for being part of this collective consciousness of good. We're all growing in this together. I bless you, I love you, and now let's just break free, break away, and be the best we can be. Got it? Good, and so did. Thank you, thank you, thank you.